She has performed at the Kennedy Center. She is a humor writer for the New Yorker, for the Washington Post, and for the New York Times. Please give it up for my friend Jiji Lee.
My husband's family is more charming and American than Norman Rockwell. They live in this adorable neighborhood in Maryland with white picket fences, with actual American flags draped over the white picket fences. Yes, they are white people. And me, I'm just this Korean girl from Miami, so this is all very new to me. Even their dinner table made me feel a little self-conscious. They always used formal place settings and folded cloth napkins, whereas my family, we never used place settings. We would just try to sit wherever was closest to the TV. And instead of folded cloth napkins, we just used a roll of toilet paper. That's what Korean immigrant families do, or at least that's what I tell myself, okay? So early on in our relationship, his family invites us down to Maryland for the 4th of July weekend. And they always do this big brunch, and we have people over, and then they go onto the porch and watch the neighborhood parade, which consists of kids going by on their bikes and red wagons. It is like a parody of America, and I am super excited for this. But then my husband tells me what's on the itinerary for that weekend. Kayaking and Maryland crabs. This is my worst nightmare. My family and I, we never did that kind of stuff on the 4th of July. We would just watch Korean soap operas and eat Spam. So it was like any other day. And now I have to pretend that I was this like all-American girlfriend who is outdoorsy and like well-coordinated. I should mention that my biggest weakness is that I lack basic motor skills. It's true, even when I was a baby, I never learned how to crawl. My mom said that I would just scoot myself on my butt. And apparently that's a sign of a cognitive deficit. But I turned out okay. I just can't do anything that involves my hands and eyes working together. So yes, I was screwed. And so I decided that I was going to prepare like Rocky preparing for the big fight. And every night after work, I would come home and watch all of these YouTube videos on how to kayak. And I would practice with my broom and mimic all of the movements, because every single video would warn, if you do not hold the paddle properly, you will get blisters. And I was like, okay, do not get blisters. Blisters are un-American. And then I would watch all of these YouTube videos on how to open Maryland crabs, because it's not as intuitive as you would think. Like, I heard that grown men will actually cry trying to open a Maryland crab. And so I would study every anatomical feature like I was a surgeon, because I did not want his parents to see me struggling with a Maryland crab and think, she comes from a home that did not use cloth napkins. And meanwhile, my husband just like, relax, just be yourself, they love you. And I guess I was stressing out for no reason. But before I met my husband, I used to date this guy, and he once invited me down to his hometown in Pennsylvania, where his childhood friend was hosting a barbecue. And all of his childhood friends were going to be there. I didn't know them very well. All I knew was that they really liked Joe Biden. It's Pennsylvania. So I go down, we're at this barbecue, I'm having burger, having a good time, when the host, Mike, turns to me and says, Jiji, you're Korean. What do Korean computers look like? Everyone stops talking and eating, and they all stare at me, the one person of color at this barbecue. And I try to just make a joke of it, you'd be surprised. Korean computers look like regular computers. And then he goes, what's up with Korean last names? You guys only have Lee and Kim. And I was like, we also have Choi. And then the host's father, who was there, he is an obstetrician gynecologist, a man of science. He turns to me and says, how do you even turn Korean names into English? And I'm thinking the same way that you turn Greek letters into English. I don't know, there are other languages besides English in the world. And I don't say any of this, and instead I just think to myself, like, how is this guy allowed to deliver babies? Thank you. After the barbecue, I'm like in tears, and I tell my ex, like, you know what, your friends made me feel really uncomfortable. And he says, how dare you suggest that my friends are racist? They were just trying to get to know you and your culture. Well, I grew up in the US, so if they really wanted to know about my culture, they would have asked me what my favorite episode of 90210 was. It's the one with Brenda and Dylan going to prom. Anyway. So anyway, that relationship did not last long, and thankfully my husband is not like that. He knows better, and his family uses Google when they have a question. And so I tried to relax, and now we're in Maryland. The whole family and I, we go kayaking at the Chesapeake Bay, and the Chesapeake Bay is like as calm as a bathtub, and luckily, like, my husband and I, we share a tandem kayak, so he ends up doing all of the work, and he gets all of the blisters. You should have watched the YouTube video. And then afterwards, we go out for Maryland crabs, and I'm just like opening all these crabs like a pro, and it turns out when it comes to eating food, I am a natural. So now I'm like starting to like let my guard down, feel a little bit more relaxed, and now it's the 4th of July, and we're all preparing for the brunch at their home. And my husband's mother rushes up to me and she says, Jiji, do you know how to fold cloth napkins? And I say what I always say when I don't know how to do something. Yes, of course! Oh my god, I'm so excited for this. And then I immediately rush to the bathroom and I start Googling how to fold cloth napkins on my phone. Except at the time I had a BlackBerry, so nothing was loading. And in my mind, I'm imagining that they want these like seashells or, I don't know, an American flag. And I think, okay, Jiji, you can do this. You went to college. So I emerge from the bathroom and I start folding. And I'm putting these utensils in these cloth napkins and they're falling right out. I'm just forcing them into submission. And finally, I finish. And they don't look like seashells, but they do kind of look like a lumpy burrito. And I think that's good enough, okay? And then his mom comes over and she says, oh, you know what? We decided just to go with paper napkins. It's just easier. I was like, okay, you sure? Because this was no trouble at all. Thank God. And so then we all go to the porch and we watch the kids go by on their bikes and their red wagons, and I get to enjoy a burger in peace. And now my husband and I have been married for 5 years, and his family has been so welcoming and has made me feel like such a big part of their family. And I think that the next time they ask me to fold cloth napkins, I might suggest that we use a roll of toilet paper